I want to attempt to do a reading vlog. We'll see how this goes. So this is the Kiss of Deception. I got these from a free book box. Can you believe that? Like, thank you to that person, genuinely. I love people like you. Her name is Leah. It's spelled L-I-A, which is different from mine, but I don't know. It depends on the kind of story that this is, but does anyone else get like kind of like icked out when it's their name? I feel like some people want to be the main character, and then there's like people like me who is like, I'm here to listen to your story, I don't want to be part of this. So we'll see how that goes. I am not caught up on my actual TBR, the books I should be reading, and I probably won't. I've read a few from my TBR, and then I was like, I'm in such a mood to read very specific things, and I feel like right now I don't want to stop myself from reading those things because I've had a lot of books that I've read that are just kind of like eh. And I don't know if that's because I read Alchemized this month, that I've just like, all I can think about is Alchemized. I'm not even gonna lie, like I loved Alchemized. It was so good. And my dream is to get like one of the nice editions of Alchemized, which probably is never gonna happen because when I looked it up, people were like reselling them for like $100, and I can't afford that. I can't even afford a $12 book. I was gonna splurge for the beautiful Alchemized editions. I didn't realize how expensive a beautiful edition was. That's my fault. I've never looked into it. Finding that out was like, okay, maybe one day when I become rich, I can get that, but right now, I can't. As much as I would love, like genuinely love to do that and like have it displayed all beautifully. I did want to show you guys because like I went to the store to buy Diary Bound. I went to Sam's Club because it was the cheapest I could find it. It was like 20 bucks and it was like the really beautiful edition, and I was like, I really want to give it a try because like I was like, you know, more fantasy type of stuff. Instead of buying Diary Bound, I bought this book. I saw this, you guys, like how beautiful is that? Absolutely love it. And I was like, I might get this one just because also like the sprayed edge. I mean, look at how beautiful. I was looking at all the books to just see which ones look nicest, like I always do. There's only 3 of these ones. There's like 3 of the other ones for Diary Bound. In the very back, the very last one was a signed copy. And I'm not even gonna lie, y'all, I am a sucker for a signed copy. This was the only one. It was in the very back. And it was at Sam's Club. When I got this book, by the way, it was covered in this like gunk. Like somebody had taped over this and then like taken the tape off but left the gunk. So I had to like sit there with Goo Gone and scrub all this like gunk off of this thing. Let me tell you, get Goo Gone, do not get the off-brands. The off-brand stuff, for whatever reason, can destroy anything. I don't understand it, but it can. But yeah, I got this because it's signed, and I am a sucker for signed books. I don't know why. It's just, I don't even care. The only other book I have that is signed is this one, which is one of my favorite books. This is Throne of the Fallen, and it's signed. I freaked out. I don't think this is the Barnes & Noble edition, though. I think this is just the regular edition. Maybe this is like just me, but I think the Barnes & Noble editions are kind of ugly. You see this? It's like just plain blue, but like the original covers are black and, you know, kind of like this one, which I think this is the original cover. But I don't know. I don't like the Barnes & Noble edition ones. Is that just me? I just think the pastels they're just kind of ugly. Have I yapped enough? This isn't even a book I'm reading. Oh my gosh, you guys. Let's attempt to read this book. I have read up to chapter 10. So I guess I should tell you guys a little bit about like what this book is about. I'd be a little surprised if you haven't heard about this book already, but if you haven't, this is a book about a princess who is supposed to be getting married to this other kingdom to like unite the kingdoms, but she decided she doesn't want to do that. She doesn't want to marry a man who's probably old, decrepit. She calls him a toad. And so on her wedding day, she and one of her maids, who is like a good friend of hers, they flee. They just get on some horses and they fucking go. And apparently, even though this is like spur of the moment, she has this shit planned out. She's been planting clues and making sure nobody can like immediately find them. She goes to this town that her maid has formerly lived in because she was like adopted or taken in by her aunt. It's a small town. There aren't a lot of people there. They're hoping to live here for the rest of their life, or at least Leah is. And then two strangers show up into this town, and one is an assassin and one is the prince. That's not a spoiler because it's literally told to you within the chapters, because this book I didn't realize would have switching POV chapters. Like, you'll get a chapter from the prince and then you'll get a chapter from the assassin. So far I'm liking it. I'm only on chapter 10. Okay, so I recently went shopping and I got some books. Before we get to that though, this book was actually sent to me. I won this book on the Goodreads giveaway, and this is an art of the Heart Trials. I don't really know anything about it, but I'm actually really excited to read this one. Where's the blurb? Yeah, it's basically about like a girl who like is smuggling drugs because a deal goes wrong and she faces execution unless she enters the Tournament of Hearts, a deadly game for upper class citizenship and the privilege to love. Also, she fights for freedom and cozies up to a dangerous contestant. Will love be her downfall or her greatest weapon? I think that sounds actually really interesting. So I can't wait to read this. This is a YA. This comes out in September. This is the second arc I've won. I won this arc previously, which is Chelsea Girls, which should be coming out soon because it comes out in July. Anyways, yeah. So we got another arc to read. I did read and review that one, so I'm so excited to read and review this one. I'm just so grateful when I get set arcs, especially when it's like before the book actually comes out. So anyways, I went to go buy Dungeon Crawler Carl because everyone was raving about it, and I was like, why not? I mean, I'll give it a shot. I love anything that's like dark humor, and I love video games, so I was like, I'll give it a shot. But then I kind of got sidetracked and I saw this is Dire Bound and look at how beautiful this book is. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is stunning to me. I could not. How beautiful is this book? And then like the end paper, then the end paper is like, I've never had a book like this. I don't know if this is becoming more of a thing, but I've never had a book like this. This is like what I see from like the Fairy Loo or Illumicrate. I've never just seen this as a book. And oh my gosh, you guys, I'm not even gonna lie, I'm so here for this. Look at that. Can you see that? It looks like a book I would see as like a special edition from one of those. And so when I saw this, I was like, yes, I will take it. I love it. And then I'm not this kind of person, okay? I have never been the person who will buy the series before reading the first book. But you guys, like, I bought the second book. I just was like, I don't know what came over me, okay? I'm not even gonna lie, like, I am not this person. And again, like, I was like, I'm only gonna buy the first one. And then I was like, oh, I'll buy that one, and then I'll buy Dungeon Crawler Carl. And then I was like, again, it got me with the stupid, it was so pretty. This girl looks like she's just like stoned or some shit, I don't know. Like, she's got an intense stare. So I don't know if that's on purpose or that's just the way she was drawn. Part of me is like, is that AI? And I really hope not, so we'll see. Hopefully they've credited the artist. Even more like really pretty art. Every time I see art now, I'm like, I hope that's my AI. And I hope, because this is supposedly a very popular book, that it won't be. You know what I mean? Oh, I love it. I love it. Don't even with me. Don't even. I got suckered into buying these two books. I think what made it better was that they were 20 bucks instead of 35 or 32. Yeah, these ones sell for 32. So these were at least 20 instead of 32. So spending $40 seemed better than spending like, what would that be, like 60? No, 64. $64. So, you know, 40 versus 62, 64. All of my books are just like these regular plain books, you know what I mean? Like, nothing really special about them. So, they suckered me in. They got me. You guys, they got me. Even like my nice hardcovers, you know? There's nothing pretty about these books. I was impressed when Alchemized had a picture on the hardcover. These two shelves are my TBR shelves. And I removed some of the other books that were on here. So I could put these here. I could like have them facing out, be all pretty. We love I see like people who have like a lot of pretty books do this all the time where they do the sprayed edges out, and I always thought it was so cute, but I've never had pretty books, and now I do. I have 3, so it's maybe not as impressive as a lot of the other book talk girlies, but it's so cute. I love it. Literally just because they were cute. And that's really all it takes for me, apparently. It just needs to be a cute book, and I will buy it, I guess. Alright, let's get back to actually reading, which is what this blog is about, supposedly. Okay, Kiss of Deception. I just read through to the 50% mark, so I'm on chapter 34 now, and I actually am liking it. I do think it's a little funny that just both these guys are just hanging out. And I think it's so, I mean, it's beyond obvious at this point who she has her eye on. This is like, it's a love triangle, but it's feeling, at this moment, it's feeling like a love triangle with the men and not with her, because she clearly has her eye on one of the guys. I don't know. I'm not hating it at this moment. I'm literally only half of the way through, so we'll see what happens with the other half of this book. I am starting to get more interested in the story, so I'm more excited to read, whereas the beginning I was kind of dragging my feet. Not even gonna lie. Okay, so I literally just finished The Kiss of Deception, and I actually really liked it. I would give this like, honestly, this is like a 3.75, but for the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to give this a 4-star. I did like it. The second half is so much better than the first half. I wouldn't say it's a love triangle. Literally, she's not interested in the other dude. Every single one of his chapters, you read it and you're just like, he's kind of just making a fool of himself because he thinks there's more than there clearly is. And like, she only flirts with him like momentarily just to make the other dude jealous. You can tell she's just not into this dude. So calling this a love triangle is a little Even the end, the very last scene, like the very last chapter of this book just felt like it cut off in the middle of the scene. Like, it didn't feel like a completed scene. It didn't even really feel like a cliffhanger. It just felt like they just cut the chapter in half and are like, oh, we'll just put the other half in the next chapter or in the next book. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but yeah. Other than that, it was good. I liked it. It was fine. I don't think it needed to be that long, to be honest. I think a lot of the beginning could be cut out. Like, I don't really need that many chapters of her being a waitress, to be honest with you. Yeah. So the next book that we were going to read was going to be this book. It was going to be The Girl with the Borrowed Wings. I don't know why it was calling to me. It's apparently about shapeshifters. I'm very interested to see. I've had this book since I was a literal child and I've never read it, but my library book came in. We're gonna read that, okay? Sorry, I can't even say it seriously because I don't care, but it's like, it's not a book you talk about with people. So that's why I'm gonna share it with the whole internet right now. But I'm reading A Pack for Winter. A Pack for Winter. I've never read the first one, which I don't think it really matters because even though they're set in the same like town, they're not connected. Well, they're interconnected, you know what I mean? They're interconnected standalone, so I don't have to read them in order. I already know it's gonna be so cursed. If you guys don't know, it's in Omegaverse, and if you don't know what that is, you can look that up. Just know that it is very schmut heavy. Just know that. So I figured this book probably wasn't gonna take me very long. I'm already 50% through this book, and I actually forgot to like say what the book is about. The book is part of a series that takes place in all the major seasons, and this one takes place during winter. Who would have guessed? It's about this girl who's like, she's a teacher, she's a goody two-shoe, she's a little bit of a pushover, so everyone just kind of uses her to like do the things they don't want to do. She's like, I'm 32 years old and I'm alone forever. And of course you have the new couple that has come to town. They're an alpha and beta, and then there's this other guy who's an alpha and he's got a crush on her, but he just doesn't want to tell her because he's too scared. So it's the perfect setup. Okay, and then there's a blizzard, because of course there is. And this is the part that I was a little iffy about. There's a blizzard, and this whole setup is like, she has these fish. She just bought these fish and she doesn't want them to die. So she's going to the school because the whole town lost power. So she's going to the school to like make sure the fish are still alive and like get power to the fish. And of course Rome sees her like going through the snow and he's like, what the heck, don't do that. So he shows up there with James and Lucas, and of course she goes into heat. And so of course these 3 main characters, okay, need to help her with her heat in her classroom. It's winter break, so hopefully they sterilized that. I don't like the setting of it being in a classroom. That's the only part I didn't like, but that's just the beginning part. Like, they don't do that again. I'm only 50% of the way through and they haven't done that again, thankfully. So we're good. And yes, it is very, very schmutty. So if you're not okay with that, just be aware. I feel like all these like seasonal books are very schmutty. Like, I haven't read it, but a lot of people were telling me, like, I don't know what the official name for it is, but it's like the Pumpkin Spice Cafe like book series. People were saying that those are like super schmutty too, and those are like, you know, the themed books. I don't know if that's just like part of the genre. With Omegaverse, it's a little different because I don't think those are Omegaverse, but like just in general, I've noticed these like themed books are very schmutty. I like a plot, but you know, sometimes I'm okay to just go for vibes. And that's basically what this book is. It's a vibe. Because there's like sentences that don't quite make sense. Also, like, there's this, okay, so like the main girl, her name is Ivy. And then the three guys are Rome, James, and Logan. Did I say Lucas earlier? I hope not. It's Logan. I keep calling him Lucas for some reason, but it's Logan. But she goes on an ice skating date with one of them, and somehow she cuts his eyebrow with her skate. And I just want to know, like, how does that work? How did she cut her skate? Because I'm like, the setup is that somebody like was screaming Miss Winter as they were like, you know, falling, and they either collided with her or him. So either he fell on the ground and she kicked the dude, maybe falling, or the dude like grabbed her, like the kid, and then she flew backwards, and then her foot went up, and then he probably like leaned down, right? And then her skate cut his eyebrow. But I just need more info. That is in my head of what happened. I need more info as to how this incident occurred, because it makes no sense to me. Like, how did this happen? Anyways, yeah, this is a for the vibes kind of book. There's not much of a plot. And that's fine with me. I've been reading a lot, so it's good to have a nice, like, easy read. Like, literally, I'm at 50% and I've been reading this book for like an hour. Also, guys, I was editing this video as I've been getting the clips, and I noticed I do this a lot, and even now I'm still doing this. Like, I'm messing with my hair a lot. So if you guys want to get wasted, take a shot every time I do this to my hair. I'm pretty sure you would be dead by the end of this video. So I did just finish A Pack for Winter, and it is exactly what I thought it would be. If you like a book that is no plot, all vibes, you'll probably love this book. I gave it a 4 stars. It's an Omegaverse. It's exactly what you expect. I don't really have much else to say other than that. I think all of the random plots were just kind of like whatever. The writing, they're like sentences that don't really make sense. Like I said, it's a vibes book, so that's exactly what it was. A Pack for Winter, I'm giving 4 stars. How many times have I changed my shirt in this video? You guys tell me. That's a very quick one, because I mean, the book is really not that complicated. There's not much to say.